Welcome to the Carl Nelson Show
on Washington, D.C.'s 1450 WOL Radio and live around the world on WOLDCnews.com.
And thank you for joining us, folks. Later on, Power Talker, Dr. Umar Johnson returns. He's just back from his trips to the United Kingdom, Paris, and South Africa, or Zambia, as some people like to call it. He'll join us again, as I mentioned, later this morning, discuss the situation at the University of Missouri, also Black Lives Matter. But before we get to Dr. Umar Johnson, oh, by the way, Dr. Walter Edwards is going to join us. He's a Harlem businessman, and we're going to talk about Boycott Black Friday. Also, attorney Malik Shabazz is supposed to join us as well. Again, we're going to talk about boycotting Black Friday. I want to get your thoughts before these gentlemen join us. Do you think anything has changed yet as far as boycotting Black Friday? Has your mind changed? Have you wavered any bit in all of this? Do you think it's going to work? Some people say it's just a waste of time. What are your thoughts? 800-450-7876. 800-450-7876. Again, that number is 800-450-7876. And we'll speak to attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz, who's also and I'm giving a voice message from him. He's also run the Black Lawyers for Justice group as well, and they're very involved in this protest that's going on. Well, some people call it protest. I wonder what you would call it. Again, that's 800-450-7876. Also, Harlem businessman, as I mentioned, Walter Edwards is going to join us later. He says that we need to take this event beyond Christmas, beyond the holiday. You know, we've got to make it a movement, not just we can't just embrace it just for the holiday, because after the holiday's gone, the next day everybody will be back to the same business and business as usual, and be forgotten. We need a stronger way to send our message, to get our message across. And this dovetails with some of the stuff that Jim Klingman and Brother Amafika are doing, you know, with their 100 Black conscientious voters and supporters as well. You know, they want to harness the Black vote. And this is the way how to do it. And if you don't think we're ready to do it, you know, look what happened at the University of Missouri. And I know that Dr. Umar is going to talk about that. What happened at the University of Missouri. And all of a sudden, folks figured out, hey, we have a voice, you know, and the tipping point again was when the football players came in and decided to do that. Now there's talk on a lot of college campuses that, wait a minute, among these athletes, these student athletes, that we've got some juice here. So we'll see what happens. Again, 800-450-7876. So we get your thoughts about all the things that have going on since then. Do you think there's something in the air that's going on? Do you think there's a change? The Black people are finally waking up? And I've been asked this question a couple of times by different people, off the air. They think that our people are just slowly waking up, just realizing how much power they have. Something to remind me that Nelson Mandela said once he got out. He said basically, if Black people ever knew how much power they had, if they ever came together, if Black folks ever knew, he says, hey, everybody else knows it except us. We just don't know how much juice that we have. And suddenly here we see on the University of Missouri that the students figured out they've got some juice, and just pull in some more students, which were the Black football players, and then they could really leverage what they have. But how is it for the rest of us? So are we finally, do you think that message is getting out, or are we still just preaching to the choir? Because we have one set of folks telling us, hey, you got to vote. If you don't vote, you're going to lose everything that you've gained, everything you've structured and went out for. You're going to lose it if you don't vote. If the football players, the students at University of Missouri could have said the same thing. Could have said, hey, all right, we're going to go along to get along. You know, and I'm sure there were some on campus who didn't want to get involved, stuff's too Black, it's okay, it's cool, it ain't that bad, it didn't affect me directly rather. So I'll just go on for the get along. But I'm sure there were those like the brother who went out on the hunger strike. He says, hey, this is too much. He's going to put his life on the line. And I think that's what, when the football players saw that this fellow was, he's not a football player. It's just actually a grad student. And then he decided that he's going to get involved. The only way he knew way to make a difference. He was going on a hunger strike. When they saw that, because, they got free meals and all of that, and they treated like royalty on campus because of who they are. They're football players, student athletes. But they don't make up the majority of the student body. The majority of the student body happens to be white, and this is another issue that probably should be addressed. And it's probably all on these major college campuses, and the athletic teams are mostly black. So, they come out and cheer for them, and then the rest of the time they leave them alone. 800-450-7876. Attorney Malik Shabazz is joining us. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Malik. Is Brother Malik there on line 2?
Yes, wa alaikum salam and good morning.
Good morning, sir. We talked a lot, and I know you've been pushing the boycott Black Friday, but how do we convert this from a one-day event into maybe a movement?
In terms of Black Friday,
Yes,
it has to be a movement, but it has to have a strong opening day. I'm the founder of and with a strongest boycott coalition. It's called the National Blackout. And certainly it is a movement that is intended not only to last past the Black Friday period and past the holiday period, but permanently. But this right now is a key day, a key time, that if we're going to back our claims up, because all year we've seen our people getting killed, our people being murdered. And we've said that we need to use our economics as a weapon. And so this specific day is a key day for any movement to get started, and that's Black Friday. And we have to dig in hard. We have to be successful. And that's what we're aiming to do here at the National Blackout.
Since the rally that Minister Farrakhan had, is there any updates?
It all depends. Updates on which specific aspect.
On the movement, because everybody says we're going to boycott Black Friday, but then it seems like where's the follow-up?
Well, it all depends. Number one, there are several organizations. All of the movement, number one, is not dependent on specific follow-up from Minister Louis Farrakhan and Justice or Else. Although if you look at what Justice or Else and Minister Farrakhan are doing, they are pushing a boycott. They are pushing a Black Friday and a holiday boycott. But there are many organizations out here that may not have even been a part of that were already pushing that and are pushing that. National Blackout is one, which is composed of now 60 to 70 organizations and leaders in different cities, in at least 40 different cities. And I know for a fact that Justice or Else themselves are in many cities. They are pushing a boycott. National Blackout is the specific coalition that is pushing on the ground action and shutdown of stores now in, again, 40 cities and over 100 locations. So on a short note, if anybody wants to ask, well, what is the follow-up to 1010? What is anybody doing? And the answer is that the or else, or the shoe is about to drop here on Black Friday. That this is the follow-up. This is the time when white corporate America and the time when the companies and corporations that are directly and indirectly tied to our oppression, it's the time they must pay the price for America's police department killing us. It is the time that we as a people rise up, and there is leadership that is spearheading the way. We have to make an impact on Black Friday. We have to shut them down if we're going to be taken seriously.
All right, 800-450-7876. Some folks already want to speak to you. Let's go to line 3. Howard's calling us from Los Angeles. Howard, you're on with Attorney Malik Shabazz. Is Howard with us on line 3? All right, hang on a second, Howard, if you're still there. 800-450-7876. Attorney Shabazz, what we saw happen this week on the University of Missouri, how does that impact with Black Friday? Can somehow the students use that to galvanize the campus around the country to support the Black Friday boycott? Seems like we lost everybody here for a second. 800-450-7876. Attorney Shabazz, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. So I thought that we lost I thought our signal went down. But I was asking you basically about what happened at the University of Missouri. How can the students on that campus, how can you use that, what the students did, to galvanize students around college campuses, especially black students, to support the boycott of Black Friday?
The way that Black Friday is supported by what happened in Missouri is that young people and people can see that strategic boycotts, or what we call blackouts or walkouts, they can
right. I'll tell you what, hold that thought right there, because we've got to step aside for a traffic update, our first for the morning, and I'll let you respond on the other side. Also, we've got some people who want to speak to you already. 800-450-7876 calls after the traffic update on 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Good morning. This traffic update is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Very good start to your commute this Thursday morning. No issues around the Capitol Beltway. Prince George's County heading inbound on Suitland Parkway, Branch Avenue, and Pennsylvania Avenue. Looks like traffic moving pretty well so far this morning. 301 northbound, we have a water main repair. It closes the on-ramp at Billingsley Road at Waldorf. Discover the value of Jiffy Lube's signature service oil change, not just an oil change. Jiffy Lube checks vital fluids, tire pressure, lights, and wipers, and even vacuums the interior. This weather update is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life. Winston Churchill's words stirred his country. In the face of defeat, today they inspire us to reach for our own victories. Commitment, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. Today, expect mostly cloudy skies, showers around, highs reaching the mid-60s. Tonight, clear and breezy, lows near 50. Right now, it's cloudy and 50 degrees. I'm Tony Thornton for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
DC Department of Housing and Community Development is offering a free seminar discussing everything you need to know about rent control, rental conversion and sales, inclusionary zoning, and affordable dwelling units. Topics will include housing regulation administration overview, allowable rent increases, code violations, notices to vacate, the landlord wants to sell, and more. Join us Saturday, November 14th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 1800 MLK Junior Avenue Southeast. For more info or to register, email us at dhcd.events@dc.gov.
Those of us who were around in the 50s and 60s struggling, many of us have gotten tired, and we let the enemy have his way. Well, I did my best, they'll say, and you all take it now. I'm just going to sit down and relax or retire. I have never seen a lion retire from being a lion. I may not bite as hard as I used to, but I can still bite.
Don't miss the Farrakhan Speaks broadcast this and every Sunday at 8 a.m. until 9 a.m. right here on WOL 1450 AM, where information is power. That's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on the air this Sunday at 8 a.m. If you missed last Sunday's message, you have to hear him this Sunday. Don't miss it.
Reproductive cancers such as cervical, ovarian, and uterine cancer strike 98,000 American women each year. Black women are nearly twice as likely to die from cervical cancer despite progress in recent years. The Foundation for Women's Cancer urges women to learn the symptoms, listen to your bodies, and act by seeking care from a specialist for the best outcomes. Love your lady parts. Visit foundationforwomenscancer.org.
Carl Nelson live and local from 6 to 10 a.m. on 1450 WOL.
Thank you for staying with us. 14 after the hour. Again, the number to call, speak to Attorney Malik Shabazz is 800-450-7876. Counselor, I'm going to let you finish up what you were saying before the break, then we'll take some calls for some folks who want to speak to you.
All right. So, again, the short answer to the Missouri question is that it shows that if in unity and strategically that boycotts or what we call blackouts or withdrawals, if strategically targeted, they can affect justice. And our power can be utilized. And so that is an encouraging sign to students everywhere that, you know, that if they rise up also for this Black Friday weekend and for what also is being called for, a national walkout on Monday, Cyber Monday, November 30th. Missouri is a great sign that if this goes on all over the nation, that some changes will occur if we take similar action.
All right. As I mentioned, some folks want to speak to you already. 800-450-7876. Howard's reaching out to us from Los Angeles on line 3. Howard, you still there?
Thank you, Paul, for taking my call. I'm going to go to my brother. I was going to say that, yes, sir. I was going to say that we're like a sleeping giant in a way, and it's just take this sport, that Missouri thing, to make us realize the part that we have. One thing I do call, when I talk to young black athletes, I encourage them to go to a black college. You know, if they care about you down there, don't worry about being seen. You got scouts all over the place. You will be seen. Don't worry about it. You want to go for an education. What are you going to do after you stop playing ball? You might not be guaranteed to make the squad. You might get hurt or whatever. You got to think about that. You got to have a plan to be in a city if you're a black athlete. And I encourage you to go to black colleges. Like Grammy was a powerhouse back in the day for football goals. So that's not a problem. And I used to talk to my uncle. He's a Paradise guy. He's a member of Nation Islam. He's a very influential my family. He come in and say something that's really out in left field, and he gets to thinking about it. You know what? He's kind of right. Maybe he got a point there. And we used to take long walks in Magic Johnson Park over in Los Angeles, and we do more talking and walking. And one thing is always these young people don't know who they are. That's like what Mandela says, black people, we don't know who we are. And these kids, they're a generation where they have a certain swagger about that other generations don't have, but they go in the wrong direction. So as my job as the elder is to say, hey, you should maybe consider this, go this way, read something, and do this and do that. Pull your pants up, I do that too. So we're like that now. We're a sleeping giant. And I've been telling my family, personally, I'm not going to participate in Christmas this year. Don't look for nothing from me. And I will do something for your birthday. I come from a big family, so every month I'll be buying somebody a birthday present, some months more than others. But we got to consider that, and we got to go back into history. What brought about some of the things civil rights when we start boycotting, start taking money from people's cables and things? One thing about the Montgomery bus boycott, that bus company almost went out of business. Black folks are ready to go real war, and our elders fought wild for us. And so we got to do the same for our children. And all
right, well, let's give him a chance to respond. Thanks, Howard. I guess Howard is trying to say, Malik, what is the end game? What's the goal?
Well, the end game has to be justice and self-determination, which is a very serious matter. And so the matters that we're discussing of which why we would black out or boycott and take such strong actions as in this hour, the bottom line to it is that we seek a change. We seek to address, and we seek to punish, and we seek to sanction the United States of America and its states and its counties and its police departments and its corporations that finance these police departments. It's companies that make these police cars. Ford and GM are making the police cars and the trucks that are transporting the police, that are locking you up in a prison for profit system that is designed to keep crime rates high and beds filled. The end game, again, is to sanction and punish those that are exploiting us, sucking our blood, contributing to our demise, and overall making our lives miserable. And so the end game is very strong. It's much more stronger than getting a seat on the front of the bus in Montgomery, and that was very important, and that was very effective. But I would say right now, after what we've suffered through Mike Brown, through Tamir Rice, through Eric Garner, through murder after murder after murder after murder after murder, and the grieving hearts of our mothers and our people, we've marched, we've demonstrated, we've rebelled, we've so-called rioted. We've done it all in general. But as a people, we have not taken the strongest stances we can take. So the end situation potentially is a relief to many of our problems in America and a major turnaround in the balance of power in our affairs if we take strong economic action through Black Friday and the holiday or the holiday season.
So how would you gauge whether it's a success or a failure? What's the yardstick?
Well, I gauge it as a success. I gauge success in different ways. I mean, one way you will measure a success is through money and dollars taken. St. Louis County 2014 boycott in St. Louis County alone cost St. Louis County $12 million. And let me bet you believe that we are back and they are back on the move again in St. Louis County, looking to double those numbers. And so right now, this blackout that I'm a part of, and the other groups are pushing boycotts also. We say blackout for other strategic reasons. But this is now going to take place on the ground. It's going to take place all over America. But specifically in 40 cities and 100 locations or more, we are on the ground, and we measure one indicator of success would be in if 20 million or 24 million can be had in Missouri, and probably more. We're estimating that up to $500 million or $1 billion, if we stand up now, can be taken and sanctioned from this entity. So we're saying right now $500 million to $1 billion is on the table for Black Friday weekend, because $56 billion is spent in general, and at least $5.5 billion is spent by blacks or African Americans. And so if the blacks use some of their power and stand up with the brown who just use some of their power, a serious, measurable economic penalty can take place. But I measure success right now on the amount and the number of young people. This caller talked about young people. I measure it in terms of the amount of young people right now that are standing up and are telling me and have flyers out. You can go to our website, nationalblackout.org. I measure success in the terms of young activists that tell me and are telling us right now that we're going to be there at that Walmart in Waycroft, Georgia, in southern Georgia, and Walmart in Jacksonville. Other ones going to be at the Target in West Palm Beach, stopping all that madness. Others are going to be at the Nike store. Others are going to be at the Wells Fargo Bank in Miami, at the shopping centers here at Columbia Heights in Washington, D.C., shutting down 125th Street in New York. I would say, to be very honest, sir, I measure success by the number of people that are organizing in the coalition to get out and put boots on the ground on Black Friday. And so I would say that success already is in the air, because anytime young people commit and say they're going to do it, then that is a measure of success right there, because we already know that there will, nationalblackout.org will be putting boots on the ground and shutting them down.
All right, hold that thought right there. Because we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, speak to Tony in Fort Lauderdale. 800-450-7876. You too can join the discussion. Also, Harlem Businessman, you mentioned 125th Street. Harlem Businessman is going to join us as well later on. Walter Edwards is going to tell us how to broaden the base of this demonstration, this movement. Again, the number to call is 800-450-7876. Your call's next on 1450 WOL, where information is power.
What's wrong, Tina? Where are you coming from?
I am just coming from the dealership getting my Mercedes-Benz service. Do you know it cost me $500?
$500? Girl, you should have gone to Magic Benz in Hyattsville. Their A services are only $250 and B services start at just $250. They are my premier specialists and have up to 40% off dealer prices and 100% satisfaction guarantee.
But how did I miss this?
But there's more. They offer professional services, tire replacement, balance and rotation, engine cooling system flush, body work for all Mercedes, and more. Their oil changes are only $99.
Michelle, say no more. What's their info?
It's Magic Benz at 4716 Baltimore Avenue, Hyattsville, Maryland. Their number is 301-985-2676 or go to their website at magicbenzservice.com. Thank me later.
No, I am thanking you now.
When the need arises for a funeral repast or a place to hold a memorial service for your loved one, call the New Horizon Hall of Elegance, located at 2209 Vernon Street, Mount Rainier, Maryland. They will take the worry out of you having to handle one more detail, giving you time to focus on family and friends. Call 301-277-5922 to find out more. That's 301-277-5922. That's the New Horizon Hall of Elegance, ready to serve you in your time of need.
The bad news. Here in the richest country on earth, almost 50 million Americans, 1 in 6, suffer in poverty. They go hungry, have no shelter, need basic medical care. The good news, 5 in 6 of us are not in poverty. You can help today. Please go online right now to help with this injustice at takingittothestreets.net. 100% of your donation will reach your neighbor in need. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Go to takingittothestreets.net.
And now back
to the Carl Nelson Show
on Washington, D.C.'s 1450.
1450 WOL Radio.
Thank you for staying with us, folks. 26 after the hour with attorney Malik Shabazz discussing the Boycott Black Friday event. 800-450-7876. Line 1. Tony's waiting for us in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Tony?
Good morning, Carl. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, sir.
Counselor Shabazz. I couldn't agree with you more. I agree with you 100%. In fact, last year was my first year that I never had a Christmas tree. And I had to sit down with my 2 sons and explain to them why we didn't have a Christmas tree. And they agreed, and it wasn't no big problem.
Tony, before you go, how old were your children?
They were 11 and 10, 2 boys.
And you explained to them why you were doing it, and they agreed. Wow.
Yeah, well, you know something? I try to have conversations with these little guys about everything that's going on in our society today with the genocide that's being perpetrated on us, you know, and it's not quiet. It's right out there in the open. It's just that, you know, a lot of people prefer to turn their vision into TV, the movies, sports. You know, there's so many diversions that you can get involved in, and not participate in reality, you know, especially like video games and stuff like that, not to mention our jobs trying to make money to put food on the table, that people don't feel like it's about them. And when they watch the news and they see a Tamir Rice get shot down in 2 seconds, that, you know, they, for a split second, they may say, oh, that could have been my son. But if the kid was a a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little boy out there with a real gun, he wouldn't have got shot down like that. It's a plan. It's a organized effort that is being perpetrated on us. Real quick, I just want to say that today's the 1-year anniversary of the More Better Man passing away, and I remember him, and I loved him a whole lot. We need, as older people, we need to encourage the young ones
to get involved nonviolently, use their imaginations, network on Facebook and their different systems that they have for social networking, and don't spend your money out there on frivolous, non-essential goods for a good job. Don't buy any tobacco products. Don't buy any alcohol. Don't waste your money on video games. Don't buy a new car from these people. Make sure that they let our candidates know, like Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, that if you want to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
All right. Thanks, Tony. And I'll let Brother Malik respond in a second. But you mentioned the passing of Mo Better Man, and of course we miss Mo Better Man. But we've also lost another one of a Radio 1 family here, and just this week, one of our vice president sales managers, general sales managers, Tony Washington, left us, made his transition, and our condolences to Tony and his all his family and friends as well. But Attorney Malik, I'm gonna let you respond to what Tony from Fort Lauderdale said about we should be more conscious about our spending habits. Does this mean that we spend before Black Friday or we spend after Black Friday?
We don't spend. What it is that the national blackout and others, we're saying don't spend anything with non-black businesses for Black Friday weekend. And for the holiday period, we're saying cut it to a bare minimum only, and to stay out of these big chains and stores. And so the caller covered a couple of points, and I want to cover a couple of points. Number one, and then I'll come back to that specific question. The caller said that he had a conversation with his sons, and they didn't have a Christmas tree. And I was saying that some conscious black families will make that choice. But I want to be clear that national blackout, it don't really matter too much at all for us if the Christian want to celebrate Christmas. That's in the Christmas tradition. We're not here to argue with that. Our slogan is to black out and boycott Black Friday and to black out the Xmas shopping period. We're only concerned about shopping, buying, and spending during the holiday period. And so we don't want our Christian family, of which I come from the lineage of a Christian family, to think that anybody's trying to cancel their December 25th. Whether they have a tree or not, that is a family gathering day in the black nation and in the black community. What we're saying is stay out of Walmart on this Black Friday. Stay out of Best Buy. Stay out of Target. Stay out of running up in these malls. Save our money. Get with our family and our people and understand the value of saving our money and not being a fool and a tool for the society. So I want to focus in on that. So some are making revolutionary steps and some are throwing the tree out. But we are here to say that those that have the tree, we ain't fighting over trees here. We fighting over those that have been killed and murdered and finally walking the walk where we've been talking the talk with our money and our finance and making this impact. And so that is the driving question of unity in this hour. Brother Carl, we are successful as we want to be successful in this hour. As we're coming up on this date, and if it's the 12th, and it's 15 days away, and we have notice and time and opportunity to be successful. We will be as successful as we want to be successful, and the world is watching to see whether we are serious about stopping the killing, serious about buying black and building a black economy. Because I'll say in closing on this, that if it's $1 billion that we plan on taking away from them for the Black Friday weekend, where's the black stores? There are many, and we have them organized now. Where are the black entrepreneurs? Many. So we're saying don't buy nothing the Black Friday weekend. Nothing. Prepare in advance. Don't go in any non-black business at all. The ones in your hood, anywhere. Black it all out. And when you get from December 1st to January 3rd, definitely stay out of the shopping period and buy only essentials of that which you have to. And you will begin to find that there's a black man pumping that gas in your hood. You will begin to find that there are many of your own that can service and supply it. And if not, get it all before November 27th. Get it all before November 27th, because this is achievable. This is an achievable goal and a victory that we can have if we put, again, sanctions on this country, sanctions on this government, sanctions on this state for state and their state-sponsored murder and corporate-backed fines, sales tax, and fines and fees.
All right, hold that thought right there, Attorney Shabazz. I got to take a quick break for the news, and I'll let you finish on the other side. We got a bunch of folks who want to speak to you as well. You two out there can join the conversation with Attorney Malik Shabazz and Boycott Black Friday. Reach out to us at 800-450-7876. We take your calls after the news update on 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Good morning, I'm Mike Fortier. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Every 52 minutes, someone is killed by a drunk driver. Join Mothers Against Drunk Driving at a Walk Like Mad 5K near you. Sign up at walklikemad.org. Veterans letting the White House know how they feel about medical marijuana. Dozens of servicemen and women marching in D.C. yesterday dump a large box of empty pill containers, calling on officials to make medical marijuana available to veterans. The group argues VA hospitals are over-medicating veterans with a large number of psychoactive medications to treat PTSD. Some members of the group smoking pot while marching in protest. Prince George's County Police hope a canvass of the Springdale neighborhood where a man was shot to death will lead to arrests. More in Dougall, witnessing some of what happened to 59-year-old Bernard Parker of Springdale Tuesday afternoon.
The car was on fire. I was looking to see if anyone was in the car. From where I was, I couldn't tell because the guy was leaned over.
Officers back on Ladova Way last evening handing out flyers and speaking with community members in what they say may have been a random attempted robbery. Parker, discovered with a gunshot wound inside a crashed car Tuesday afternoon, dies a few hours later. Detectives think a shot was fired from the passenger side of the car. Tacoma Park Police identifying the woman found dead near a dumpster. They're still looking for the person who stabbed 34-year-old Elena Gugacheva to death. Her body discovered Tuesday morning in an office park on New Hampshire Avenue. Opponents of the proposed Pepco-Exelon merger say they want an ethics investigation into why D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser finally decided to support the deal. The group's suspicious about what caused Bowser to go from opposing the $6.4 billion merger to supporting it after the city received some concessions from Exelon. They mostly question that the reversal came at roughly the same time Pepco agreed to pay $25 million to help build a new Major League Soccer stadium at Buzzard Point. This report brought to you in part by Compassion International. Every child deserves enough. That's what you can give to a child in poverty when you sponsor through Compassion International. Find out how at compassion.com/radio. I'm Mike Fortier. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to news1.com.
Good morning. This update is brought to you by GEHA. We'll start with an early morning accident in Prince George's County, Kenilworth Avenue northbound. It looks like it's at Sunnyside Avenue. You're seeing delays now beginning from Cherrywood Lane. BW Parkway, also another accident northbound just before 198. Your delays begin from Powder Mill Road. Also sluggish on the outer loop between 95 and Georgia Avenue. GEHA helps you live more and worry less with more than 1 million providers nationwide and vision for no additional premium. Let life happen. Learn more at GEHA.com. This weather update is brought to you by Unbound. Unbound sponsorship fights poverty by strengthening human connections and nurturing interdependency. That's just one way Unbound is different. Learn more at unbound.org. Today, mostly cloudy, showers around, highs reaching the mid-60s. Tonight, clear and breezy, lows near 50. Right now, it's cloudy and 50 degrees. I'm Tony Thornton for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Real Talk Radio in the AM.
The #1 morning show. #1 on everybody list.
Carl Nelson on 1450 WOL.
And thank you for staying with us. 21 minutes away from the top of the hour. Our guest is Attorney Malik Shabazz. The number to call to reach him is 800-450-7876. And Counselor, I'm going to let you finish what you were saying before we left for the news.
So what I'm saying, as the president of Black Lawyers for Justice and as the founder of National Blackout, which is a movement that is in 50 cities, my representatives here, many are on the line listening, is that this is the time here in Black America that we have to walk the walk. And this is a time when this system and this society is going to be looking at us seriously to ask us, are we serious about justice? And are we serious about our economic condition and doing for ourselves? And so I would say we should be in good spirits right now. We're in good spirits right now because we got leadership working hard for us out front, and we got a chance if we will come out of the slave mentality and come out of the Lazarus mentality and get up and walk like a free man and a free woman and stop being tools and acting like we're begging for the crumbs like Lazarus that fall from the rich man's filthy table in this hour.
All right, 800-450-7876. Let's go to line 5. Brother Tabakuti is calling us from Atlanta. Brother Tabakuti, you're on with Attorney Malik Shabazz.
Well, good morning, Carl, and good morning to your guest. I have to say I agree. It's just like what I told you before, Carl. We have to stay the course with this boycott and not let anyone deviate us away from it, just like what we did in Los Angeles. And your friend Brandon, he said, well, he didn't believe in that and what we did in Los Angeles. But you know what? When you don't have anything else to use, as Lynn Collins said, although she was talking to the sisters, she said, use what you got to get what you want. You better think. And also, Carl, I looked online. It said they're coming back. But if possible, could you see if you could possibly interview Stephon Marbury? Because I think the time is right for him to bring those tennis shoes back. And the time is right for us to support him the way he should have been supported before. And we can make his company a billion-dollar company. And that way it will open up like all sorts of internships and things for the youth. And I think the time is right for that. But that would be great if somehow.
Well, let me ask you quickly. Is he still playing in China or is he back stateside now?
It said that he was still playing. What I saw, it said that he was still playing in China. What I saw. But it said the shoes were coming back. But it did not give a definite date as to when. But I think the time is right for him to bring those shoes back, and we can support him the way he should have been supported, previously. But what I want to ask the question is to Malik. I want to ask Malik, are you a member of the Nation of Islam, or are you just affiliated with the Nation of Islam?
Sir, I'm a Muslim. And I have been affiliated with the Nation of Islam since I was a college student at Howard University. Right now, since the 90s, many know me in that realm. I am the national president of Black Lawyers for Justice, which I founded after graduating Howard School of Law in 1996. And I'm an attorney at law in Maryland and Washington, D.C. I also have been the chairman of the new Black Panther Party from 2001 till 2013. I'm now succeeded by my brother and former chief of staff, Minister Hashim Nzinga. I have worked with the Nation of Islam on different projects, and I know the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan well. But I am here representing the National Blackout also, which is a non-religious coalition of over now 200 different organizations and leaders around America that have come together across all religious lines, all demographic lines, all social lines to put this blackout and boycott in effect. And we support others that are blacking out and boycotting too.
Right. Okay. The reason I asked you this, but the question I want to raise with you is that why is it that the Black Muslims seems to be so violent when it comes to Black people? And let me give you some examples. There was a meeting held some time ago whereby the son-in-law of W.D. Muhammad was attacked by the Muslim in the Nation of Islam because he didn't do something to get the media out for a press conference for Tookie Williams, and they beat him up. And then I look at, the fact that it's like I look at the fact that, years ago, I was at the Good Life and we were threatened by Tony Muhammad and others because of questioning about what I asked you previously about when the group Malta was not given a vending booth at one of the meetings. And then I look at Malik back in August when your group beat up the Ruba bin Wahad in Atlanta, broke his jaw in 3 places. And now you all put a video out there that's like 2 minutes and 29 seconds long. It doesn't show the full incident as to what happened. So it makes it a little difficult to believe what you are saying. And see, I looked at this because I remember back in the 90s, the white media, they was calling Louis Farrakhan Louis Farry Can. And I did not see anyone come out and attack the white media at all. Not violently. They may have said some words, but I look at how when black people say something or whatever towards the black Muslim, whether they be Christian or whatever, they come out with a very violent response. And I don't see that violent response happening when it comes to whites and others.
Okay, well, let's answer that. Those are very pointed accusations, and let's answer them directly. First of all, I can't answer for anything that purportedly, because I haven't heard anything like what you said, that some black Muslims beat up anybody. And I know specifically in this day and time that Minister Farrakhan's people have not been putting hands on anybody, especially somebody related to W.D. Muhammad. So that's suspicious information. It smacks of counterintelligence. Could be COINTELPRO information put out here to defame the movement. So I can't answer for Tony Muhammad or the Nation of Islam. I will say, but I will say here that it is an important principle that you are trying, I guess, to articulate. If you're not trying to just slander the movement, if you're
I'm not trying to slander anything,
you're trying to ask the question, are any of us as hard on the white man as the black man? We're going to answer that question. But I do want to get specific here and just categorically deny.
Okay. Well, can you tell me?
Hang on, Tabakuri, let him respond.
Let me answer what you said. You made some pointed accusations. And so I do want to categorically deny that Attorney Malik Shabazz or the New Black Panther Party is at fault for any other incidents that may have occurred when we were in fact attacked with armed weapons to stop us from getting this message out right here. That we have been a coup attempts, damn armed attacks and attempts to take my life. And our lives have occurred. And that's the problem here.
Well, hang on a second, Attorney Shabazz. I'll let you finish your responses. Stay with us, Tabakuri, because I know you have a follow-up. Folks, you too can join this fascinating discussion. Reach out to us at 800-450-7876. We'll take your calls. It's the big show. It rolls on from 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Musicians, this year at Guitar Center, we're counting down to Black Friday with new doorbuster deals in every department each and every day. Guitars, drums, mics, keys, accessories, and more. From now until Thanksgiving, we're featuring gear from top brands like JBL, Schecter, Shure, AKG, Sabian, Pearl, GoPro, and more at savings of up to 30% off. Prices so low, we can't advertise them. Discover limited time savings during Guitar Center's Countdown to Black Friday with 4 new doorbuster deals revealed every day and good only while supplies last. So check back daily, in-store and at guitarcenter.com.
Harbor Point Wealth Management assists retirees and pre-retirees in the creation of retirement strategies utilizing insurance products that provide guarantees backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing carrier. We are not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Are you confident that you won't outlive your savings during retirement? Studies have shown that outliving their money in retirement is the #1 concern of most retirees. Karen Scott Mims, ESQ of Harbor Point Wealth Management, can help. She can offer a retirement income analysis that will answer your questions about retirement, including, will I have enough money to last? Will my spouse have enough money if I pass away? What rate of return will I need to average to avoid running low on money? And what impact would another downturn have on my retirement income? To get your income analysis, call Karen today, 866-621-6660, to receive your complimentary retirement income analysis. Call today, 866-621-6660.
Hi, this is Karen Scott Mims. If you're interested in tax-efficient retirement planning, give us a call at 866-621-6660.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
Okay, here goes. I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than I do about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like PB&J, pigs in a blanket. Oh, and fish sticks. They do love fish sticks. Fillets I get, but sticks? What part of the fish does the stick come from? I know I can read a cookbook that'll tell me how to make a red wine reduction, but where are the cookbooks that can teach me how to cut the crusts off bologna sandwiches? Oh, maybe we can compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with brie? Everybody likes brie, right?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to push your food around their plate. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a pep talk that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You can improve your future. Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and for free classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Your voice can now be heard.
Y'all ready?
Yeah. With Carl Nelson weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on 1450 WOL.
And thank you for staying with us 9 away from the top of the hour, folks. At the top of the hour, Harlem businessman Walter Edwards is going to join us. He's going to add another dimension to the Boycott Black Friday movement. And also, coming up later this morning, Power Talker Dr. Umar Johnson will be here as well. 800-450-7876 gets you on. Getting in the discussion now with attorney Malik Shabazz. And let's go back to Malik Shabazz. Malik, I'll let you finish up what you were saying before we left for the break.
So just to conclude that, what I want to say is that we're not going to be distracted in this hour. Those that are listening to me and have heard me on this show for years and know me in the community, you already know my character, and you know that I'm a man of principle, that when it comes to black people, that I'm a man of peace, and you know I have a track record of dealing with this enemy. And when we say that, we don't just mean in words. And so that is my response to that. I'm not going to get distracted or thrown off by that. There are many people who try to stop my message, stop me from speaking, grab the mic. Some of those you mentioned brought armed gangs to harm me and take my life simply for getting this message out to free and save our people. Tried to kill me for simply speaking and take my life. And I'm here to tell you that my family, my daughter, and my organization and my nation and God himself does not appreciate anybody trying to take me off the planet. And if they do, and they meet with a terrible demise when trying to kill me for helping to free black people, then so be it. Whatever what I'm doing is going to be on them. Whatever happened to them is going to be on them. You try to kill me.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, if what you say happened, release the entire tape so we can all see. Because what's out there now doesn't look like the truth. And see, and the reason I'm posing this question is this. Back in 2011, there was this brother named Yusuf Bey. He was a member of the Nation of Islam. Then he branched off to himself and another form of, Islamic religion. But his son, it was two of them that was convicted in 2011 for killing this black journalist in Oakland because he was investigating what was going on with the business that they had. They was doing some nefarious things, and they shot him in the head. What I'm saying is this, Malik, is that there seems to be a history of violence coming from the Muslim community to the broader black community. For example,
well,
wait a minute. Let me finish. I didn't interrupt you. Let me finish. For example, are you familiar with the book, The Judas Factor? Now, in that last chapter in The Judas Factor, it talks about how these Muslims came from, I think it was Philadelphia, and they killed this entire family. They drowned babies in the bathtub or the sink. They shot these young people in the head, and they killed them. They wiped out virtually generations. So what I'm saying is that there seems to be this level of violence coming from the black Muslims.
Well, it ain't no, brother. Let's hold.
Okay, let's black people.
All right, yeah, because we're drifting off the topic. So, Tabakuti, I thank you for your call. I'll let Brother Malik respond.
I'm not going to get into it too long, but let's address it in context, brother, because you go look at your citation you quoted. You quote Carl Ivan and the book The Judas Factor, which came out in 93 or 94, and the book is all FBI sources of information. And the whole line and position you're taking while we're trying to black out, unite, and boycott is to now attack the Muslims, attack Shabazz. That's a COINTEL practice also. All I can tell you, I don't know what happened in the 1960s, and I ain't there right now. I do know that Minister Louis Farrakhan is not connected to Yusuf Bey. Yusuf Bey, in Oakland, had his own movement, and Farrakhan is not involved in that. And let's be honest, he's not involved in that. And we all know that Minister Louis Farrakhan is not calling for violence against nobody, against white people nor black people, nobody. You know he ain't calling for violence against the white man. And you also know that many black people on that internet are saying almost damn near anything about Farrakhan. And I ain't heard of nobody getting hurt. So, brother, we say that no, it's not true. To throw distrust on the leaders in this hour is just false, and it's barking up the wrong tree. And if anybody wants reclarification, none of us out here is to harm nobody black. And here's a group and people right here that have put bounties on the head of George Zimmerman. And you saw Columbia, South Carolina last year where the Klan had that Confederate rally and tried to bully their way through South Carolina's capital. And the people that I'm affiliated with put a strong stop to that. And I'm the student of Khalid Muhammad. We don't have to harm. We're not even remotely concerned with harming or dealing with black people unless they get too crazy and try to kill us. We don't come to pin the tail on the donkey. We come to pin the tail on the honky and deal with the real enemy of white racist corporate America that is financing our injustice, financing these police that are killing us. Our focus is on the police in this hour, white supremacy, not on trying to cast doubt and disparagement, hatred on each other.
Right. Let's get back on track. The task at hand, which is the boycott of Black Friday. 800-450-7876. We're 3 away from the top of the hour. Let's go to line 6. Jonathan is calling us from the Bahamas. Jonathan, I want to get your thoughts. Is Jonathan still with us? All right, let's move on to line 3 then. Let's go to, okay, I'm sorry. Jonathan, go ahead. Hang on a second, Jonathan. Now we got you on the line. We've got to take a quick break. We have a traffic update for our folks in the DMV. 800-450-7876. You can join us like Jonathan is calling us from the Bahamas. Get with us at 800-450-7876. We'll take your calls after this traffic update on 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Early morning crash in Prince George's County this morning. This traffic update is brought to you by Food Line. Kenilworth Avenue, northbound at Sunnyside Avenue. The accident activity continues. Your delays begin from Cherrywood Lane. Also, the crash on the BW Parkway northbound just before 198, causing major problems as you make your way from Goddard. Southbound on the BW Parkway, heavy from 5295 as you make your approach to Eastern Avenue. Gather around the savings at your local Food Line for this week's MVP hot sales. Haas avocados are just 99 cents each, and select varieties of Cheetos or Fritos corn chips or buy one get one free, limit 2. This weather update is brought to you by Robitussin. Robitussin soothes your throat and delivers fast, powerful cough relief. Robitussin, because it's never just a cough. Today, mostly cloudy skies, showers around. Highs reaching the mid-60s. Tonight, clear and breezy. Lows near 50. It's cloudy now and 50 degrees. I'm Tony Thornton for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Moving today or tomorrow and not sure who to call? Well, your worries are over. Ted's Moving and Hauling at 301-254-8221 is your one-stop place to call when you need to move from your apartment, home, or office. Ted's Moving and Hauling is one of the best, with experience and professional movers to handle all your needs with no job too large or too small. Ted's can do it all. Call now to find out more. 301-254-8221. That's 301-254-8221. Need something hauled away? Ted can do that too. Ted's Moving and Hauling is one of the best, and with some of the best prices in town. So, if you need to move uptown, downtown, or out of town, call Ted's Moving and Hauling today at 301-254-8221. That's 301-254-8221. That's Ted's Moving and Hauling, moving you from your home, office, or church. Call Ted's today at 301-254-8221.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
When I was a gang leader, we probably did business together. Because when people like you buy knockoffs on the street, often the money goes to gangs. And gangs use this easy money for other activities. In other words, they're getting a lot of bang for their buck.
Counterfeits hurt, but you have the power to stop them. Go to www.ncpc.org/getreal. A message from the National Crime Prevention Council and the Bureau of Justice Assistance, U.S. Department of Justice.
WOL Washington, WPRS HD2 Waldorf, WKYS HD2 Washington, WMMJ HD2 Bethesda, celebrating 35 years of service to the community, where information is power.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
Welcome to the Carl Nelson Show
on Washington, D.C.'s 1450 WOL Radio and live around the world on WOLDCnews.com.
Thank you for staying with us, folks. Before we go back to the Bahamas with Jonathan, our guest is Malik Shabazz, and our other guest is joining us, Walter Edwards. Walter Edwards is a businessman, a Harlem businessman. Walter, welcome to WOL Radio. Walter's on line 5, I'm sorry. Is Walter there?
Okay. Yes, Carl. Good morning and thank you.
All right, you're on with Brother Malik and Shabazz, and we're discussing the Boycott Black Friday, and we want to get your view. How do we turn this into a movement, not just a one-day event?
Well, I think that we have to use all the resources that we have and all the leaders that others don't recognize, but we recognize, like Bob Law and Jim Craven, to come out and support these guys because they're really at the forefront of making this happen. If we can keep our money in our pocket for a day, we can make the earth tremble.
All right, so stay with us, Walter Edwards, and Malik, stay with us as well. So I promise we'll speak to line 6. Jonathan's in the Bahamas, calling us from the islands. Jonathan?
Yes. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're on the air.
Yeah, first I just want to thank the opportunity to be on this platform to ask the question. And this question mostly goes towards the attorney Malik Shabazz. My first Black Friday, is there a system put in place whereas there's repercussion towards it when it happens? Because, of course, that those in power is going to have a plan after plan after plan after plan towards one or two plans that anyone may have are going towards endangering or damaging their system. Is there any system put in place? Or even you yourself? I'm not 100% familiar with your full movement. I've heard about it and the common interest, but you yourself have a system put in place for any repercussion may come after doing any movement or any action taken?
All right. Malik, is there contingency plans ahead?
My dear brother, we understand that where there is no risk, there is no reward. When Dr. King stepped out in 1954 with the Montgomery bus boycott, he didn't know what would happen to him after that. And he didn't know that history would propel him into greatness. But also, ultimately, even 14 years after that, he would be assassinated while he was talking the same talk about economic boycotts and withdrawing our money and redistributing the pain. So no, my dear brother, I don't have an insurance policy that would guarantee me safety and security if I step out to do good for black people and consequentially take money out of the pockets of those that are harming us. But I'm still willing to do it. And I'm willing to do it knowing that if I do the right thing and if we who are listening do the right thing in this hour, that we do have history and God on our side. And even if some of us lose our lives, as long as our people stand up and don't punk out, as long as you stand up, because Jesus, the black Messiah in the scriptures, say, he who seeks to save his life shall lose his life. And he who give his life for righteousness shall be granted life everlasting. And so the main thing we want in place, brother, is if we say don't boycott or black out Black Friday, we want to have clear where you can buy from black businesses. We want you, and we're working so that you go on our website, nationalblackout.org, and you can click on your city and the demonstration, or in our Black Wall Street Black Marketplace on nationalblackout.org, and you can find out where to buy black. That's what we want to put in place, and that's what we are putting in place. And that's what Dr. King put in place when he had alternative transportation systems. So we're saying, don't worry, my brother. We got to get free. And as Malcolm say, the price of freedom is death. And the first thing that's got to die is a mentality where we fear standing up due to repercussions. We must stand up regardless of repercussions, because our independence and our freedom is more valuable than staying alive. The white man did not say, well, let me stay alive. If I stay alive and don't fight the British, at least I'll stay alive. I might be colonized, but I'll stay alive. Hell no. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and the boys, and Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death.
Right. Let me ask Jonathan a question. He's calling from the Bahamas, Counselor. Jonathan, is there much talk about the boycott in the Bahamas?
Not at all. And
I'm sorry?
The reason is that I say not at all. And the reason is because we don't feel the same situation that your fellow feel over there, because most is black. So I'm not saying that there ain't the same powers, but we all see each other here. The whole place is but probably 90% black. So it's not the same feeling.
Oh, let me say something to you. Let me say something to you, black man. My dear beloved brothers from the island. And I want to tell you that national blackout is worldwide. And I'm going to give you a strong reason to black out worldwide. Yeah, you're a majority black in Barbados, the Trinidad, and the islands of Jamaica. But you are under an international system of imperialism. You're under an international system of colonialism and neocolonialism. You're still getting your accreditation from the Queen of England. Your education certified by the so-called Queen of England, because the real queen, the goddess, is the black woman here on the line. But you're supposed to be, my beloved family, the producers of Marcus Garvey and other greats, supposed to be free and independent. But right now, you exploit it for your tourism, exploit it in your islands. And if anybody needs to stand up with the blackout, it's black people worldwide. McDonald's is a multinational corporation. And inside the meat, the World Health Organization has pronounced the meat that they give us in our babies as being death. Kentucky Fried Chicken, want to say Kentucky Fried Cracker, but I won't say it on here, feeding us death all over the place. And what I'm trying to tell you in very simple terms, here, my dear brother, is that this is a worldwide cause, that this is something that black people need to unite around worldwide because we have economic grievances.
Some guy called up.
And we need a black movement worldwide for economics like Marcus Garvey. That's what the blackout is about, and this movement is about pooling our dollars together worldwide in love and in unity.
Brother Malik, we just had an example in Missouri that this brother should pay attention to. The football team refused to play because of indifference there. And look what happened. The chancellor, the president of the school, had to get out of there. They got to change their whole way of acting. But if you don't make that first step, you'll never know what's on that other side. Okay?
Right. Hold those thoughts there, fellas. We got to take a quick break. Hang on a sec. We have a traffic update for our listeners in the DMV. 800-450-7876. You too can join the conversation with Brother Malik and also Walter Edwards. Reach out to us. We'll take your calls after this news update, traffic update, pardon me, right here on 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Good morning. This traffic update is brought to you by the American Association for Cancer Research. Taking a look at that accident on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway northbound just before 198. The right lane is still closed. Heavy volume delays continue from just before Goddard. Outer loop of the Beltway topside slow from 95 to Georgia Avenue. 50 inbound through New Carrollton stop and go between 410 and Kenilworth Avenue. The American Association for Cancer Research, finding cures together. Please support cancer research by donating today at www.aacrfoundation.org. This weather update is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life. Winston Churchill's words served his country in the face of defeat. Today, they inspire us to reach for our own victories. Commitment, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. Today, mostly cloudy skies, showers around, highs reaching the mid-60s. Tonight, clear and breezy, lows near 50. Cloudy now and 50 degrees. I'm Tony Thornton for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
DC Department of Housing and Community Development is offering a free seminar discussing everything you need to know about rent control, rental conversion and sales, inclusionary zoning, and affordable dwelling units. Topics will include housing regulation administration overview, allowable rent increases, code violations, notices to vacate, the landlord wants to sell, and more. Join us Saturday, November 14th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 1800 MLK Jr. Avenue Southeast. For more info or to register, email us at dhcd.events@dc.gov.
Those of us who were around in the 50s and 60s struggling, many of us have gotten tired, and we let the enemy have his way. Well, I did my best, they'll say, and you all take it now. I'm just going to sit down and relax or retire. I have never seen a lion retire from being a lion. I may not bite as hard as I used to, but I can still bite.
Don't miss the Farrakhan Speaks broadcast this and every Sunday at 8 a.m. until 9 a.m. right here on WOL 1450 AM, where information is power. That's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on the air this Sunday at 8 a.m. If you missed last Sunday's message, you have to hear him this Sunday. Don't miss it. Make a difference in the life of abused or abandoned children in your community. There are over 600 youth in foster care in Prince George's County, and CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocate, is looking for individuals to be trained on becoming an advocate for these youth. CASA is hosting an information session about our volunteer opportunities December 2nd at the First Methodist Church, room 208, Hyattsville, Maryland, from 6p to 7p. Visit www.pgcasa.org or call 301-209-0491.
Real Talk Radio in the AM. Carl Nelson on 1450 WOL.
And thank you for staying with us 13 minutes after the hour. Like I asked Malik Shabazz and also Walter Edwards, and responding to a call from Jonathan in the Bahamas. Walter, I'm going to let you finish up your comment that you were going to make before we left for the traffic update.
Okay, thank you, Carl. No, we have to be assertive. We cannot sit back and let people dictate to us. I have a situation where I borrow money from a major financial institution, and when I borrow it, they want to tell me how to spend it. Well, there's no sense in me borrowing it if they're going to tell me how to spend it, because they're going to show me how to fail, okay? And so we have to take these steps, and if these young folks are brave enough to get up and challenge a institution such as the university, then what the hell is wrong with us that we won't give them the support and set up something where they can be economical, viable when they get out of school? Okay? So we have to make those moves.
All right. Jonathan, thank you for your call. And keep listening. 800-450-7876. Walter, let me ask you this, because you'd like to see a lot of elected or government officials or business people get involved in this Black Friday boycott or movement, if you will. Tell us why.
Carl, I would love to see them, but they won't get involved until we get deeply involved. You know, sometimes we think of them as leaders, but they're really followers. And in other communities, they are told what to do. We don't tell our elected what to do, okay? And so we ignore it most of the time. So we have to make the movement. It's all on us. And once we make the movement, you will see them running. Be happy to be in the parade. So, you know, we have to continue to fight.
Brother
we
Lee?
can't depend on them.
And so what I want to say is that in this instance, we do need support from the elders, and we do need support from parents, and we do need to set a good example for our young people during this season and for this call for a blackout. We do need their support, because it is going to be parents and older people that's going to be pulling up to them Walmart, trying to pull up to them Target. And we need you all to stand up and tell your children, no, we don't need to be running over there spending all our money. That we're going to save our money, and we're going to take a stand as our people and teach you, and so it's time for us to take a stand. For those of us, if the young people are going to be out there and willing to demonstrate, like in Missouri, willing to boycott, willing to black out, they deserve support. And it's time for us now to come out of that old mindset and just saying, oh, well, it's going to be what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. They're going to keep killing us. It's time to take a stand.
All right. 800-450-7876. Take some more calls. Let's go to line 3. Brother Al has joined us from D.C. Brother Al, you're on with Malik Shabazz and Walter Edwards. Is Brother Al there on line 3? All right, let's move to line 1. Yasa Ente Wa, I'm sorry, New York City. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yasa Ente Wa on line 1? No, yes, and they are. 800-450-7876. Folks, you can get in on this discussion. Let me go back to Walter, because you deal with the business end of this. How can we impact, as you know, because it's only a certain percentage of us that are in business. So how can we get the business people involved in this? Because would it be counterproductive for them to get involved? Because you're talking about, not spending money. So would it be counterproductive for them to say, well, we're going to join the boycott?
Well, Carl, that would be definitely the place for them, since they only getting a little bit of piece of bone with no meat on it. Okay, here's an opportunity for them to begin to get a piece of the meat. Okay, when we had the boycotts years ago, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, everybody started running to us to where we could get franchises. And some of us got satisfied and just stopped there and was happy to be in the room with those folks. But we have to keep this fight going because we die off and don't leave anything. So it's the opportunity for our business to get in line, and then they will get more opportunity. Our people have money to spend. Why are we not spending it with each other? Why don't we have the goods that each other needs? Okay, why not make a sacrifice for one day? We can go one day and see what happens, the impact of that one day. You will get more respect for what you do that one day than you will just going along, get along. It will not happen going along, getting along. That's what got us here. Okay?
Teach.
Is there a national database? Say, I hear what you're saying, that we should spend our money with our recycle our black dollars, basically spend our money with our own folks. But is there, if I want a dentist or I want a plumber, and I live in Charlotte or in Chicago or Central LA, is there a place where I can go? One place I can go and say, okay, let me get this this business has been vetted. How can we do that?
Carl, I don't know of any, and I guess the place to go would be where they are certifying us. And I don't know why we have to be certified. Everybody can look at us and tell who we are, but the white boys don't have to be certified. But those certifications will tell you where all of our business folks are. Now, years ago, there was a book called The Black Pages that had all of us listed in it, but the author of that died and no one picked it up. But we need that kind of national directory, and maybe out of this, we can produce that.
All right, Brother Malik, has there been talk about that? Because you've been going around the country discussing the black boycott, and I'm sure you've had that question. If we're not spending with the white folks, how do we find our black business people?
Okay, so what we do is, first of all, our website at nationalblackout.org, the Black Wall Street section is featuring and will be featuring a link to the black businesses all over America. And by the time we get to Black Friday, it will have a link per city, every city, where you can click and find the businesses in that city. And I'm also here to say, if you simply hit Google and you put black businesses in on Google, you will find a host of black sites. You can go to Yelp.com and put in black businesses in your city, black restaurants in your city, and it'll lay them out for you. And so we are providing that service at nationalblackout.org. There are other movements that we're working with, BuyBlackMovement.com. We're working with other Buy Black movements, and they will be featured on our site, so we will have black up. Also, we will know specifically where to buy from. And businessmen like Mike Roberts are advising us. We're seeking a conversation with Dr. Claude Anderson in this hour. And so in these days leading up to the Black Friday weekend, we're calling for a blackout of the whole weekend and, to be honest, of the whole holiday period. The word is Buy Black. The word and the information from us and everybody, we will give you where to buy black from. And I'm here to say, seek and you shall find. Seek the black businesses in your area, and you shall find, because we have $1.3 trillion in spending power, and giving it away is hurting only us. And so the businesses, many businesses around America and the world are joining up with the boycott and the blackout.
All right, 22 after the hour with Attorney Malik Shabazz, and also Congressman, but he's a businessman in Harlem, New York. 800-450-7876. His number is Walter Edwards. Let's go to line 3. Carolyn is joining us from the district. Carolyn?
Good morning. Yes. I'm coming in on bits and pieces of the conversation, but I pretty much am up on what you're talking about. Now, my thing is, you said one word, impact. We need to make an impact on how to spread the word with many things that WOL comes out with. Do you understand? Because much of what you say is very true, and we really need it. We're in dire straits at war, and our young people need to know it. And somehow we need to get the word through to them. How can we connect with them? Because we know they will get up. Ferguson and all those things.
Right. Hang on a second, Caroline. I'll let you finish on the other side. We've got to take a quick break here. Folks, you too can join the conversation with Walter Edwards and Malik Shabazz. Reach out to us at 800-450-7876. We'll take your calls. Next, it's the big show. Rolls on from 1450 WOL, where information is power.
What's wrong, Tina? Where are you coming from?
I am just coming from the dealership getting my Mercedes-Benz service. Do you know it cost me $500?
$500? Girl, you should have gone to Magic Benz in Hyattsville. Their A services are only $250 and B services start at just $250. They are my premier specialists and have up to 40% off dealer prices and 100% satisfaction guarantee.
But how did I miss this?
But there's more. They offer professional services, tire replacement, balance and rotation, engine cooling system flush, body work for all Mercedes, and more. Their oil changes are only $99.
Michelle, say no more. What's their info?
It's Magic Benz at 4716 Baltimore Avenue, Hyattsville, Maryland. Their number is 301-985-2676 or go to their website at magicbenzservice.com. Thank me later.
No, I am thanking you now.
When the need arises for a funeral repast or a place to hold a memorial service for your loved one, call the New Horizon Hall of Elegance, located at 2209 Vernon Street, Mount Rainier, Maryland. They will take the worry out of you having to handle one more detail, giving you time to focus on family and friends. Call 301-277-5922 to find out more. That's 301-277-5922. That's the New Horizon Hall of Elegance, ready to serve you in your time of need.
The University of Maryland Eastern Shore Washington Metro Alumni Chapter will host their 25th annual Hawk Recruitment Reception, open to all high school students and their parents in the Washington Metro area. Learn about UMES and its academic programs, talk with the president, student leaders, and receive on-the-spot admission decision information. Light refreshments will be served. For more information, contact Monica K at WMAAreception@gmail.com to reserve your spot today.
Real Talk Radio in the AM.
The #1 morning show. #1 on everybody list.
Carl Nelson on 1450 WOL.
And thank you for staying with us. 25 after the hour. 800-450-7876, pardon me, gets you in with our guest, Walter Edwards. He's a Harlem businessman. And also we have Malik Shabazz. We're discussing the boycott Black Friday. Walter Edwards says we need to expand it beyond Black Friday. And Malik Shabazz, an attorney, he's given us the reasons why we should all get involved. Before we left for the break, we're speaking with Carolyn on line 3 from Washington, D.C. Carolyn, I'm going to let you finish up what you were saying.
Yes, we need to get to our youth and some kind of way spread the word, because I'm thinking we're going to have to get real creative to survive and stay on this planet. And perhaps a video, Black Lives Matter, don't spin on YouTube and let it go viral. You know, something that our young people can relate to. We do know that they will hear. I was nearly a little bit embarrassed that our young people took the lead in Ferguson, and I mean, it was a good thing, but our teenagers are parenting us. We've got to help them.
Well, Karen, you got to remember, it's always been the young people who have taken the lead. Even back in our day, was we took the lead. It was always the young people who lead.
Yeah. But we got to do our part to support it. We got to get the word out there. And then my second video would be just 3 little words. It's a new kind of war. It's a new kind of war. And I'll put it in a rap form, and the young people would get the message. Stop spending. Realize what's going on. Colonizers have been at war forever. They won't stop. And we're thinking, we made it out of slavery. We've made it. We haven't made it anywhere. I have a good paying job. I don't think I've made it. We're suffering too much. No one person can make it. We need to get it in our head. It's a group thing, and I'm just really annoyed by it. So maybe I'll go around the hood and find me a few little young, what some people would call us, make the video, put it on YouTube. Okay, so because the music industry has infused their minds with the rap, so let's infuse their minds with something else. That's my comment.
All right, thanks, Carolyn. And you know what? Keep listening, because we'll put that question to Dr. Umar Johnson. He's got a huge following. He's from the hip-hop generation, and maybe that's something that his group can do. But, Malik, you want to respond to what she said?
Thank you.
I just want to thank her for her comments. I think her comments stand for themselves, and I support what she's saying.
All right, 28 after the hour, 800-450-7876. Let's go to line 2. Let's try Yasantewa. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. On line 2.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. I certainly agree with the sister who just spoke that we have to reach the young people, but we also, as elders and others, we have to give a direction, a redirection of the resources so that we can be able to supply our goods and services to our community. For example, we have in our community across this country, we have Arabs, we have Chinese, we have Indians, we have everyone but ourselves that are controlling the economy in the neighborhood in which we live. Now, these people are purchasing things wholesale and selling it retail. We can do the same thing. The veterans movement is about that, purchasing wholesale, selling retail to the community and providing services. But one of the main things that I think we must focus on is our food industry. If we're not able to feed ourselves, we can't free ourselves. We have black farmers who are in the South growing food and looking for locations to distribute their foods. And we as a community, doing over $1.3 trillion annually, are not even prepared to set up a food industry to feed ourselves. So I think that in our boycott, that what we're doing, we have to be clear on the direction in which we're going. We're not just saying we're not going in that store anymore, but we have to create and recreate and resurrect the things that we need so that we can become an independent people. And I just want to say I just woke up, and so I appreciate having this opportunity to call in, and I'd like to thank the host and certainly Dr. Shabazz for the warrior spirit that he has, and I think we need to encourage our men and sisters and brothers and others to continue to fight and not be afraid.
All right, thank you. Yeah, Asante Wild calling us from New York City. She mentioned business, so let me throw that to Walter Edwards. Walter Edwards, do we have to recreate conscious leaders like Marion Barry we had in Washington, D.C., or Maynard Jackson in Atlanta to take the steps that she mentioned?
I would hope that they would come forward. I don't think that we can recreate them. You know, let me just say to you, Carl, that one of the areas that I would just like to explain to our people is economic development, is developers. Now, Don Peoples is the preferred developer that Marion Barry made, and we could make many, many more. I spoke before the Black Congressional Caucus Committee last week where I asked them to make $1 million a year in our community. All they have to do is bring $12 million contract to a business person in their congressional district, and they work on 8% markup. That would make $1 million there. That would be $46 million a year. But as a developer, as a real estate developer, I understand that it starts at the top. And they don't give us the major development sites where we can hire the architects, the attorneys, buy the insurance from our people, decide what is going to be built on the site, what businesses are going to be there, and give them the help to survive in those areas and bring something to our community other than a fast food chain or a drugstore, something that's going to add value to our community. So, you know, we have to look at it from those who control things from the top, such as a developer, such as a person that is doing the finance, but that will say who will get the funds to do what in our community. And we have to pull them all together into a solid group and build an infrastructure. Okay. So that's where I.
Before Millie, hang on a second. I know you want to jump in on this, but what was their response, Walter, when you went to the Black Caucus and you explained that this is how wealth is built in our communities, and they have the power to do it? What was their response?
Well, I have not had a response yet. Okay, but I'm expecting one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be at another meeting Monday with the Black Caucus Foundation. And we're going to see where we can push it. You plant a seed and see how it grows.
All right. Malik?
Okay, so what I want to say is that leadership, in my judgment, in a word, it's not given to us or made for us, but it's organically grown. It comes about as circumstances. People like Marion Barry and Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan and Huey P. Newton and others, they come because there was a certain circumstance, a problem, and out of that environment, here comes one who has the courage and the vision to lead in that hour. And so that's how you get a king. You get a king out of the segregation crisis and the desire for rights of equality. You get a Malcolm, and all of them out of certain circumstances. And so what we're saying is that the leaders that lead with the critical issues in this time, the critical issues here are justice. The critical issues here are, in a city like Washington, D.C., is gentrification, lack of self-esteem, violence in our community. And the people that stand up with vision and clarity in the hour is the leadership that we will depend on and that will merit us supporting in the future. And I would say that the demonstrations, the frontline activism, it's a perfect coupling. The blackout and the boycotts are a perfect couple and marriage with black business, who will now be reinvigorated and reawakened to have a conversation about what we're going to do with this $1.3 trillion.
All right, hold that thought right there, Counselor, because we've got to step aside for the news. 25 away from the top of the hour. Folks, you too can get in on this conversation with attorney Malik Shabazz and businessman Walter Edwards. Reach out to us at 800-450-7876. We'll take your calls after the news update on 1450 WOL. The information is power.
Good morning, I'm Mike Fortier. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by Compassion International. Compassion International releases children from poverty every day through sponsors like you. Find out how at compassion.com/radio. One of two women accused of twerking and groping a man in a Northeast D.C. convenience store being denied bail. Ayanna Knight of Las Vegas facing a federal sexual abuse charge in last month's incident along New York Avenue. A report that the second woman suspected in the case is also under arrest proves to be untrue, but police have an arrest warrant out for Marjorie Charles. There's an arrest in a nearly 5-month-old murder in the district. Police say they took 19-year-old Rashid Murphy of Northeast into custody yesterday and charged him in the shooting death of 26-year-old Arvell Stewart of Southeast. The homicide happening in June on H Street Northeast. The National Weather Service reporting a big drop in the number of visits to the Blue Ridge Parkway last month. Heavy rains and flooding being blamed for closing some popular sites, leading to a decrease of about 230,000 visitors compared to last October. Still more than 1.68 million people touring the Blue Ridge last month. Bravo releasing a trailer for a new Real Housewives series based in Potomac. The cable network says the reality TV show will follow the doings of 6 women from the area. The Washington Post reports filming apparently began this past summer, but they don't say when the episodes will air. Veterans letting the White House know how they feel about medical marijuana. Dozens of servicemen and women marching in D.C. yesterday dump a large box of empty pill containers, calling on officials to make medical marijuana available to veterans. The group argues VA hospitals are over-medicating veterans with a large number of psychoactive medications to treat PTSD. President Obama honoring America's veterans in a Veterans Day ceremony yesterday at Arlington National Cemetery. The president says vets represent an unbroken chain of patriots throughout the history of the U.S. This report brought to you in part by the American Association for Cancer Research. The American Association for Cancer Research, finding cures together. Please support cancer research by donating today at www.aacrfoundation.org. I'm Mike Fortier. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to news1.com.
Good morning. This traffic update is brought to you by George Mason Basketball. Big problems 95 southbound coming out of Laurel. The accident activity still takes up the right lane at the ICC. Your delays begin from 216. Eastbound on the freeway in Southwest, we have an accident. Takes up the right lane at Main Avenue. Looks like your delays are starting to build through that stretch, and also slow on DC 295 southbound from Eastern to Pennsylvania Avenue. Get ready for George Mason Basketball at Eagle Bank Arena. New coach, new season. Buy your season tickets or 3-game mini plan at at wearemason.com. This traffic update is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life. Winston Churchill's words stirred his country in the face of defeat. Today they inspire us to reach for our own victories. Commitment. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. Today mostly cloudy, showers around, highs reaching the mid-60s. Tonight clear and breezy, lows near 50. Cloudy now and 50 degrees. I'm Tony Thornton for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Your voice can now be heard.
Y'all ready?
Yeah. With Carl Nelson weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on 1450 WOL.
I know you're just doing was 22 away from the top of the hour. Before I take another call, I want to go back to Walter because we talked about the building, the developments. And you look around Washington, D.C., you look around any major city, Walter, we see these buildings going up, these construction sites, whether it be from L.A. to New York to Chicago to D.C., as I mentioned. But yet we don't see many of us on these job sites. What's missing here?
Well, there's the finance being in place, and we really need to get together. And if we boycott and use this money to develop a fund for our people, okay, when we have to go and pay 22% interest on a loan, that kills us. When we cannot find property that is inexpensive, that our government members should be bringing the property to us. They talk about sole source. Well, they say that sole source is only used in an emergency, such as the hurricane and 9/11. Well, what is any bigger emergency than the downfall of the black economy? So we should be pushing that we get these opportunities to do whatever development that is needed, especially in our community. We should not be letting anyone come into our community and develop anything that we don't have a piece of. Maynard Jackson did it, Washington and Chicago did it, and Barry set the example. So why are not others doing the same thing?
That's the question.
That's the question, Bob.
800-450-7876. Walter Edwards, a New York City businessman, and also attorney Malik Shabazz with us. Let's go to line 6. Hamid is calling us from Virginia. Hamid, your thoughts? Is Hamid there on line 6?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, brothers. How you doing? All right. Hey, at the heart of many of the issues that I hear is the question, why do we behave as we do? Why do we allow folks to come into our communities and exploit us? And why do we not even support one another? And you understand, these are very basic, fundamental questions. Truthfully, they're so fundamental that it's embarrassing that we have to debate these things because, truthfully, we're all far more intelligent, all of us. We don't have to fight over such issues. So what really is the heart of what we're dealing with is a severely sense of a degraded sense of self-worth and dignity, right? That's the question. That's the issue. If you want to get people to support themselves and to behave responsibly and to reasonably, right, they have to have a steady and a healthy self-image. And so I used to think that terms like Sambo and white supremacy were outdated terms. They were sort of like ghosts from the past. And this is largely because the public schools, they spread lies, and they're poisoning our children with untruth. And this is the truth. The children are the future, right? So what we have to do is we have to identify, in my opinion, who Sambos are, what a Sambo is. A Sambo is the one who will sell out his own people, his or her own people, for the benefits of siding up with the enemy. And you can update that term and modernize it if you like. And the music, not just only music, but that's a large part of it, is poisonous. And so we have to take our children back because our children are going to be making these decisions later on. And tell them, identify what is cool. What is manhood? See, I think the case is a lot of people today identify with unhealthy behaviors as being synonymous or okay with manhood, right? And we need to explain, no, the principles that we're discussing, this is a part of what it means to be a woman. This is what it means to be a black man or a black woman. This is what this is. We have to take
Right.
ownership.
I mean, just a favor, and put in a question for them so they can respond, because you're racing the clock here. We've got a bunch of folks who want to speak to you.
All right. So I would say, what activities do you think that we can do to take back control of this, our own image, in spite of the many people out there who are, who are really degrading us and all that, especially like these entertainers with this popular.
Right. I know Malik wants to get at that one. So thank you, Hamid. Thanks for your question. Malik?
My dear brother, the way we take back our own image so we don't look like Sambos and Coons is that we must change our own image by taking action. We even have to move out of the realm of theorizing about why we're in this condition and change our image ourselves right now. And so what I'm saying is that if our young people, if the world see us stand up here and back this blackout, take our money out of this economy for this holiday period, if they see us stand up, and like that caller, she was shy. Yah Santiwa is the one that's helped leading the Brooklyn blackout and the 125th Street shutdown in New York. If they see us even as conscious people, not just talking it, but out there on the front lines walking, and they see us shutting down these companies, they see us buying black, talking black, organizing for a black economy like our good guest here I'm on with today, we will change our image ourselves. Just like what we did for the Million Man March, changed our image ourselves. We have the capacity right now. We don't have to beg white people, please portray us in a better light, please. If you stand up strong and they see us serious and we shut them down and we start taking $1.3 trillion, putting it in our pocket, and these stores, when you look at them on this Black Friday and when this money starts coming out and we start shutting these people down, our image is going to change overnight, and the world going to salute, stand up, and respect us, and our children and our sons will respect us, and we will not be the Sambos and Coons of 2016 in the future.
All right. 800-450-7876. Let's go to line 3. Charles is in D.C. Charles, you're on with Malik Shabazz and Walter Edwards.
Good morning. I really don't have a question. I just have a rhetorical question, basically. I know the answer to my own question. I just want to make a comment on basically what we have to do in reaching our black women, because she is the leader of the household now. She is the one who supports tradition and superstition. I didn't hear nobody outcry about Halloween, a clear day that's celebrated for evil. You can't expect good from children when you constantly feed them evil and ask them to bring some good outcome out of evil. Out of tradition and superstition, this continues. You can walk in the CVS's and see the seasons change from what they put on the shelf. Nobody talked about the millions that was spent on a day of evil for Satan on Halloween. Now, I talked to you before, Carl, and I even heard you say, well, we talking to Obama now. We don't know what we want. I've heard you say this, Carl, and you heard me call you and tell you this. We know what we want. We've been asking for reparations.
No, let's get it straight. Let's not get it twisted. I said, he said, not what Carl Nelson said. What President Obama says. You haven't asked for it. What is it you want?
No. Okay.
Now, hold that thought right there. I'll let you finish on this side. Let's take a quick break, Charles. 800-450-7876. Again, that's 800-450-7876 to speak to Walter Edwards or Malik Shabazz. Your call's next on 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Moving today or tomorrow and not sure who to call? Well, your worries are over. Ted's Moving and Hauling at 301-254-8221 is your one-stop place to call when you need to move from your apartment, home, or office. Ted's Moving and Hauling is one of the best, with experience and professional movers to handle all your needs with no job too large or too small. Ted's can do it all. Call now to find out more. 301-254-8221. That's 301-254-8221. Need something hauled away? Ted can do that too. Ted's Moving and Hauling is one of the best and with some of the best prices in town. So if you need to move uptown, downtown, or out of town, call Ted's Moving and Hauling today at 301-254-8221. That's 301-254-8221. That's Ted's Moving and Hauling. Moving you from your home, office, or church. Call Ted's today at 301-254-8221.
Harbor Point Wealth Management assists retirees and pre-retirees in the creation of retirement strategies utilizing insurance products that provide guarantees backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing carrier. We are not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Are you confident that you won't outlive your savings during retirement? Studies have shown that outliving their money in retirement is the #1 concern of most retirees. Karen Scott Mims, ESQ of Harbor Point Wealth Management, can help. She can offer a retirement income analysis that will answer your questions about retirement, including, will I have enough money to last? Will my spouse have enough money if I pass away? What rate of return will I need to average to avoid running low on money? And what impact would another downturn have on my retirement income? To get your income analysis, call Karen today, 866-621-6660, to receive your complimentary retirement income analysis. Call today, 866-621-6660.
Hi, this is Karen Scott Mims. If you're interested in tax-efficient retirement planning, give us a call at 866-621-6660.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
Okay, here goes. I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than I do about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like PB&J, pigs in a blanket. Oh, and fish sticks. They do love fish sticks. Fillets I get, but sticks? What part of the fish does the stick come from? I know I can read a cookbook that'll tell me how to make a red wine reduction, but where are the cookbooks that can teach me how to cut the crusts off bologna sandwiches? Oh, maybe we can compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with brie? Everybody likes brie, right?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to push your food around their plate. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Real talk radio in the AM. Carl Nelson on 1450 WOL.
And thank you for staying with us 10 away from the top of the hour. I just want to remind you, coming up later this morning, Dr. Umar Johnson is going to join us. Of course, you know him as the Prince of Pan-Africanism. He's a direct descendant of Frederick Douglass, and his best-selling book is called The Psycho-Academic War Against Black Boys. He's just back from a tour of the UK, Paris, and Azania, or South Africa, some other people call it. Find out what the reception was like when he joins us later this morning. But let's go back to Charles. Charles, can you wrap it up for us real quick?
Okay, well, I don't know if I can wrap it real quick, but I'll try to wrap it. Like I was saying, most of our leaders have been given a CIA blueprint, and that's to deal with the social problem and breaking down barriers of racial intolerance and injustice. But they was not given a blueprint to deal with the economic problem. I don't know about your neighborhood, but my neighborhood in D.C., we have not reached out to the Ethiopian community, and they are buying up D.C. I haven't given my money to a Korean, and I don't know when. So all of this about our communities now are Ethiopians. We ain't trying to sit down at the table with them. That's our problem. We don't even see ourselves as African. That's another problem.
Right. And you know what, Charles, I'm going to let you go because we got some other folks who want to get on. And what you're talking about is really, really important. I mean, I've talked about it myself, just driving around the district. But we've got to, that's a topic for another day. And I thank you for your call. 800-450-7876. Let's go to line 2. Philip's in Chicago. Philip, your thoughts on this boycott that Walter Edwards and Malik Shabazz are discussing this morning?
Yes, the boycott for Black Friday. Did we miss a great opportunity to join the Justice or L March to have the United Front? I mean, we could have had Jesse, Al Sharpton, the Minister Farrakhan, Dr. Francis Wilson, Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. Claude Anderson, all of them on the stage at the same time, and members of the Black Caucus, whatever. I mean, at the same time, united, saying that this is something we need to do. And until it gets down to like to the ground, to the grassroots, to the ports on 63rd and Austin in Chicago. I don't know how effective or how much longevity something like this would have. So I'm just thinking that is this something we could recapture, or am I just living in some type of pipe dream where I can see our black leaders together on such an issue?
That's an excellent question, Philip. Malik, you were at the march. I'll let you respond to that.
Well, I'm going to pick at you a little bit and say, stop dreaming that all of that would happen. And let's stop dreaming that even all of that is the key. It would be nice to see Dr. Francis Cress Wilson and Minister Farrakhan and Jesse Jackson and Malik Shabazz and Dr. Umar Johnson and the kids from Ferguson and everybody together on one common page and one common cause. That's not going to happen. It has not happened. There are too many reasons why I could go into you tonight to tell you that it will never happen. But I'm telling you that revolution is going down in our lifetime. And the leaders that you keep looking for elsewhere and up there really is right in the mirror. And the leadership challenge is not on them over there, but it's on you who are on this phone line right now. Because for too long we have waited for somebody to give us a leader and have not looked for the leader within. And the challenge and the crisis that faces us right now requires every black man, able-bodied black woman, every one of us adults to accept the leadership challenge and to qualify ourselves as organizers. And if we're not able to explain to our people, our children, our wives, why we are not organized, and if you can't come to your wife and the black woman and explain to her what organizing you're doing, I'm here to say that you're not a man and you're not a woman in this hour. The leaders that we're looking for are within, and right now they are Walmart, Best Buys, Target, Gucci, Nike, all of that, all over America that's looking for you. Not Sharpton, not somebody else, but you. And National Blackout is looking for you too. If you need help, National Blackout is in 40 cities organizing with hundreds of future leaders and taking charge of our own destiny. We must take charge of our destiny. Stop looking for manna out of heaven.
All right.
So you're saying just the look of unity with black people is just not important. I mean, you're preaching unity.
It's not happening, black man. No, it's not going to happen like that. We want it to happen, but it's not, and you're wasting valuable years dreaming instead of making your move right now. You're the next leader you're looking for.
And that's why it's frustrating, because, I mean, I sat there and watched the whole thing with the justice, right? And he had time to bring up all these other things, Malcolm X, the Elijah Muhammad children, and all. He brought all that together, and he couldn't reach out, pick up the phone, and say, "Hey, I need you to be here. I need you to be here. I need you to be here." I don't get that.
All right, hang on, fellas. Philip, I thank you for your call. I'm going to let Malik Shabazz respond on the other side. We're going to take a traffic break right now. 800-450-7876. That's the number to call to get in on this discussion. 3 minutes away from the top of the hour. As I mentioned, a traffic update next on 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Good morning. This traffic update is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. We'll start with a serious crash now on the freeway heading eastbound from Southwest at Main Avenue. The right lane there is taken away. You see the delays begin from the 14th Street Bridge. Out loop of the Beltway before 50, we have a crash. It's off to the shoulder, so that's good news. The bad news is that your delays start from Central Avenue because of that, and slow on 295 southbound between Eastern and Pennsylvania Avenue. Discover the value of Jiffy Lube's signature service oil change, not just an oil change. Jiffy Lube checks vital fluids, tire pressure, lights and wipers, and even vacuums the interior. This weather update is brought to you by Robitussin. Robitussin soothes your your throat and delivers fast, powerful cough relief? Robitussin, because it's never just a cough. Today, mostly cloudy skies, showers around, highs reaching the mid-60s. Tonight, clear and breezy, low near 50. Right now, it is cloudy and 51 degrees. I'm Tony Thornton for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Hey, listen, next time you're hungry, stop by Tori's Restaurant. That's right, Northwest V Street and Georgia Avenue, right across the street from Howard University Hospital. Tori's Restaurant. Tori's Restaurant. Now, if you like good food, then this is where you need to be. Tori's Restaurant. They got breakfast all day, low country cuisine, also lump crab cakes, short ribs, and a whole lot more. And they got this daily special. Mondays, Ask the Chef Day. Wednesday, beef liver with onions and gravy. Thursday, meatloaf with gravy. Friday, fried whiting with hush puppies. 2 sides, bread, iced tea, lemonade, or mix. Ask about our catering service, too. Call ahead for carryout. 202-462-3700. Tori's Restaurant, 700 V Street at Georgia Avenue, Northwest D.C. Right in front of Howard University Hospital. That's Tori's Restaurant, 202-462-3700.
Musicians, this year at Guitar Center, we're counting down to Black Friday with new doorbuster deals in every department each and every day. Guitars, drums, mics, keys, accessories, and more. From now until Thanksgiving, we're featuring gear from top brands like JBL, Schecter, Shure, AKG, Sabian, Pearl, GoPro, and more at savings of up to 30% off. Prices so low, we can't advertise them. Discover limited time savings during Guitar Center's Countdown to Black Friday with 4 new doorbuster deals revealed every day and good only while supplies last. So check back daily, in-store and at guitarcenter.com.
I can make an impact in the world. As young people think that we can't make a difference, but not only we can make a difference, but sometimes we can make the biggest difference.
We wanted to be the doers and we wanted to be the changers.
You just have to find something that you're passionate about and use your talents and your abilities to volunteer.
Volunteering doesn't have to be a chore.
It really is a reward in itself.
It helps you get farther in life.
There is no better feeling than helping somebody else.
You could see one person smile, you could tell they needed that smile, and it could really change and open up your heart to new things.
A lot of things are really competitive about individual achievement. Volunteering is a way to take a step back from that.
See a need, gather friends, and change the world. Changing someone's world. It happens now. This is the time. And this is when you learn, so why not start?
Are you a young volunteer making a difference? Apply for the Prudential Spirit of Community Award. Visit spirit.prudential.com.
WOL Washington, WPRS HD2 Waldorf, WKYS HD2 Washington, WMMJ HD2 Bethesda, celebrating 35 years of service to the community, where information is power.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
Welcome to the Carl Nelson Show
on Washington, D.C.'s 1450 WOL Radio and live around the world on WOLDCnews.com.
Thank you for staying with us, folks. I'm Aaron Shell. We'll be speaking with Dr. Umar Johnson. But right now we have a businessman, Walter Edwards from Harlem, and also attorney Malik Shabazz. And before we left, Philip in Chicago wanted to know, I guess he wanted to see all of those leaders on the same stage, but Malik, is it cool to say at least we know their hearts, all of them that he mentioned, and maybe more, are still in the right place? They're still down for the struggle with black folks, but does he have to have that visual? Do you think that means much more?
No, I don't think he should get that upset about what either did or did not happen at the Justice or Else march or movement. We can't put all the pressure on that day or Minister Farrakhan to answer all of our problems. He's doing his part from his perspective. And even if you have an issue with it, we still can't cry over spilled milk. We have to move on. This is much bigger than a single day. That's why we're here. We're talking about a blackout and a boycott, and we're talking about a permanent process, not just a day. And we're talking about something that not someone else has a duty to do, but we who are on this phone have a duty right now to stand up and to tell our neighbors, to tell our family, and to organize right now not to go out there. And we're also saying here that national blackout here, that for those that are serious about solving these problems is organizing in cities and will be on the ground at 100 locations. And we're also talking about now building a black economy movement. And so let's mature, let's grow up, and understand that this is a collective responsibility. And we can't keep looking to Jesse and Al and somebody else. They're doing and have done their jobs. We have to stay on ours.
All right. And Walter, how do we prolong this beyond Black Friday? What do we have to do?
Well, first of all, Carl, I think that we have to recognize that if you're playing chess, you need all the pieces that the opponent have on the chessboard. Or you're playing any game, you need all the pieces. So when the callers talk about this one or that one, we can't separate. We all have to come together on this. And then once we come together and see how this work out. See, we all are followers, really. And we follow success or what we believe is success. So Black Friday can be a successful day that can really energize us to come and do others. But if we don't have this one day, then where do we go to get that energy? So everyone should be looking at this day as the day that will energize a movement to really make us independent and be honorable people that can stand up and represent whatever. You know, when I talk to developers and everything, and they tell me that I have to have the experience and this and that, I tell them that we was the master builder. We taught them how to build. Okay, so why do we now have to have this great experience that they want us to have? They didn't have it. We taught them. So, you know, Carl, it's the thing that the first step is the hardest step. This is a step that I beg everyone to take, and let's see where it takes us. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but let's take this step.
All right. 5 after the hour, 800-450-7876. Let's go to line 6. D joins us from Virginia. D, you're on with Walter Edwards and Malik Shabazz.
Excuse me. Yes. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning to your guests. I just had what you guys are promoting, I'm 100% for, and listening to Malik, and I do think it's a combination of individual efforts, starting with self and family. But then I also think that you can, get with certain groups who may be further along the organizational trail, or at least have a greater platform. So I believe in doing both. But I guess I was asked the question of, once we do make this change, whatever that may look like, there will be counterattacks. There'll be counterattacks along the way. I guess I'll ask the question, are we prepared to deal with that, with those counterattacks? We've seen it in the past where they've done that and been very effective. But once we do make this change, we start spending our $1.3 trillion mostly with ourselves. How do we manage to counterattack? And all right, so that's my main question.
All right, and
that may be a conversation out there. Let me just put that out there, too.
No, yeah. Well, I want to say this. Number one, I'm going to reiterate that we who are leaders in this movement, and you're really saying a consistent theme. People keep saying that when you come after this enemy's money, then you could have some problems. And so, once again, it's a character question. And once again, I have to say that I still volunteer for the mission, because where there's no guts, there's no glory in this hour. And right now, the glory is going to be seeing our people get up and get to the next level. So I'm willing to take the risk as long as I'm not by myself. Fortunately, we have in the national blackout, as you talk about organized, this is a coalition of hundreds of organizations now, national and local. Dr. Umar Johnson is even with us. New Black Panther Party is with us. Nation of Islam is Boycott. So we're out there. Everybody should join an organization. But I want to say our specific remedy to insulate against one leader being taken out is that we're building a coalition, and we're not building a personality-based, one-person type-based model. where if the leader of the coalition is either jailed or imprisoned or something happens, that everything falls apart. So I want to let you know that Malik Zulu Shabazz is working with many other leaders in other organizations, Black Lawyers for Justice included. All of us are working together to build a structure here where the movement is bigger than the individual. And we as a people now are in a level that what we're doing and the principles that we're acting on are more important than the personality involved. You can kill a revolutionary, you can't kill the revolution. You can try to, when they know, just like the United States government. I mean, hell, President of the United States had been shot and even assassinated. But the United States government keeps right on doing what it's doing. And that's where we are right now. We are maturing, but we can't turn around, and we can't be afraid. And I'm here to say in this hour, if we take due precaution, tie our camel, as we say, pray, but tie your camel. Don't worry about it. If we stand up, God is going to crush our enemies. If we stand up in this hour, we're going to be sheroes and heroes to our babies. I say let's take a stand, man, because I'd rather risk something happening and my baby look at me and say, my daddy was a real man. I'd rather my queens and my goddesses and those in the Black nation, my mama, say my son, that he was a real black man, and he is a real black man. Then I'd rather than be safe and be a punk in this hour. We can do it. Don't worry about nothing. I'm telling y'all, don't worry about nothing. God is with us.
Oh, brother, yeah, I'm not worried about the counterattack. I just know it's coming, and I'm not talking about attacking a person. The U.S. they want to attack. They'll attack us with policy and law and gentrification, things of that nature. So I'm not worried about them attacking a person.
Well, which one? Let's get into that then, because let me speak to gentrification first. I want to say for those who are suffering under gentrification, that the blackout in this kind of movement is a remedy. I'm here to tell you that in these cities where they're driving us out, like Washington, D.C., when we start moving and boycotting and taking money out of the establishment, that is one hammer and one leverage against this awesome wave of gentrification. Now, they're not going to stop us. They're not going to take your First Amendment rights away, because they would have to take it away from whites. They're not going to take your ability to go out.
Right, hold that thought right there, Attorney Malik Shabazz. We got to step aside and we come back. Dr. Umar Johnson is going to join us. Walter Edwards and Malik Shabazz, our guest, and we'll wrap up with our segment with them and speak to Dr. Umar Johnson next after the traffic update on 1450.